Okay, hello. Thanks for joining. So today we are going to start working on the adding locations functionality. As you may know, a restaurant may actually have multiple locations, right? Um, so I may have, I don't know, let's say like Pizza Hut, Subway, Burger King, McDonald's, any other of those, Taco Bell, uh, those restaurants. Um, they usually have a lot of locations or stores or restaurants locations, right? Who you may call it. So we are now going to start adding that functionality to the system so that the administrators can configure all of the locations that the restaurant has. So first we are going to start by adding the table, the location table, right? So let's see, here we have this requirement, right? Adding a new table to the database project. The table must be named location, and it must have the following columns: location ID, name, description, a freeform address, latitude, longitude, and IMS URL uh, is default flag, and the iOriginator uh, iOriginator info interface columns, right? So we are going to just make sure we have the latest in the branch. We are going to create a new branch, adding location table. Okay. And now we are going to the database project, and in the database project we are going to add a new table. It's going to be named location. Now I am thinking where we should put it, right? So I think we are going to create a new schema that's going to be named profile, right? Because um, so we will have later on multiple things for profile probably in there, so we'll figure out that. Let's see, location, and this is going to be created under the profile schema, right? Now we haven't created the profile schema yet, so I'm going to create a new script in here, actually in security, right? This is going to be a new script, and it's going to be named profile, and we are just going to take this as a base because I always forget the syntax or how that is created. Create the schema profile, and the schema is created, and the location table should not give us any error anymore because the profile schema already exists in the project. Okay, which other columns we have? Actually, before I forget, here this is going to be an identity column, right? And also this is going to be the primary key, and I'm going to name the constraint location. Okay, this is going to have a name, Um, let's make it of 150. Description. Let's make it of 1000. Nope, never allow nulls in any of those. Okay, freeform address. Let's make it of 1002. I believe it could be less, but we'll check that later. Latitude and longitude. Um, so I think we are using floats for those. Let me verify. In the orders, we have the order, and yes, those are floats. Latitude, float. Okay. And IMS URL. Let's see. The promos have an IMS URL. Let's see which size did I put them. Embark card 1000. Okay. Nope, I won't allow nulls in this table. It's default. This is going to be a bit because that's the we basically represent booleans in SQL Server. And the originator columns, which should be these ones. Okay, so they are added. None of that is going to allow nulls. We already added primary key. It's going to be an identity. We set the constraint name. One more thing, a couple of things that I want to do is we are going to create two unique indexes, right? This is going to be a unique index for the name column because I don't want multiple locations with the same name. And this index is going to be for the name column. Okay. And let's see if I wanted to create a constraint to restrict this to only have one record in the table allowed to be true, right? But I don't know there is any way to do that without triggers. I don't know if there is a constraint type for that. So let's see. I believe the constraint types are only going to restrict the value. Yeah, I don't think I can do it. So we'll do that when we are inserting the data, right? So let's see, we already created the location table. We have the name, we have the description, right? We have the freeform address, the latitude, the longitude, the IMAX URL, is default column. This is default column is basically going to be used when we configure the uh, main restaurant profile. I wanted to avoid having like multiple tables with similar columns, so the way we are going to do it is, yes, the location table main purpose is going to be for creating the multiple locations for the restaurant, right? But the restaurant will also have, the main restaurant will probably also have a name, a description, a freeform address, latitude, longitude, right? Name as URL. So basically the main profile of the restaurant is also a location, right? So that actually makes us um, to allow us to use the same table. And in case later on we need to extend the main restaurant profile, one of the things we can do is create a profile table, and that profile table will actually have a column with a foreign key to the location, right? Um, so we can do that. So the other thing that we need to do is go to the data access project and generate the entities. So yeah, let's select the profile. Yes. Okay. And the entities were already generated. Now there's one more thing I actually need to do before I forget, is creating the partial class for the location table. Location dot partial dot cs is going to be public partial class location iOriginator info. We add the using, and this is, remember that this is so the save changes overridden behavior um, automatically fills the data for these columns. Remember that the database context has also a partial class, which is overriding the default save changes methods, right? And they are all invoking this validate and set defaults method, which one of the things it does is it verifies if there is any entity in the change tracker that implements the iOriginator info, right? And when it is iterating through all of the entities, uh, if it is of iOriginator info, it will automatically set the values, right? So yeah, that will be it for now. Thank you. Actually, for finish, one of the things we need to do is schema compare. We compare it to the database and we update the database with the new table with the latest changes, right? So let's see, we have this new table and we have here this schema updated, and that will be it. Okay, so that's done.